Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. We are at the next to last game of July the 8th, 1987, between the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees from Yankee Stadium. It's game number 577 overall on the season replay. Yankee Stadium, singles are 1-7 both sides. Home runs a slight difference, 9 for left, 8 for right. New York won this game real world 13-4. And the Yankees come in this game 46-38. Minnesota comes in 40-44. Starting pitching matchup, two right-handers, Mike Smithson for the Twins and Rick Rhoden for the Yankees. We'll look at Smithson in the bottom of the first. Right now, we'll look at Rick Rhoden, see what he did in the real world and on the replay. Rick Rhoden, 1987 season, 16-10, 3.86 ERA. And on the replay, Rick Rhoden checks in 6-6 with a 5.25 ERA. So the ERA is a little bit higher than what his yearly average was, so maybe he can turn it around here in the second half. 108 innings pitched, 135 hits. That's a lot of hits to innings pitched, so he needs to work on that. 26 walks and 70 strikeouts. He's got a wild pitch of 10. His balk is a 2. He has a -1 hold combined with Rick Cerrone, makes it a -2 on the hold category. There is one player in this game for the Yankees I do not have a card for, and that is Jeff Moronco, shortstop. He's batting 7th in the lineup. Good morning, Dan. And so what I did is I took a screenshot of his card. So when he comes up to bat, I'll have his screenshot ready to go. And see how well this shows up here. But that's his card right there, Jeff Moronco. There you go, Jeff Moronco. There he is. So when Jeff Moronco, and he's facing right now Mike Smithson. So we're looking at the right-hand side there. So I'll have this handy, but I am using a pitcher hitting card as a placeholder to remind me that it is Moronco's turn at bat. Let me fill in Moronco's defense while I'm here. At shortstop, he's a 4.88, so that's horrible. And the computer says he runs at, what is it? My picture got cut off here. Let's see what Moronco runs like. Moronco's run rating is a 12. Okay, so now we finish it out. So they got a weird middle infield. They got Moronco short and Paul Zuvella at second. No Tollison, no Randolph. They're both on the roster. They're just, whatever reason, given the day off. I don't know why. Just the way Lou Piniella played it. That's all I can explain it. I just want to give everybody a heads up about that. Good morning, Jason. Then when we get to Moronco, I am going to have to. Now, if it comes off Smithson's card, you don't have to worry about it. But otherwise, we're going to have to go to that optional thing there. All right, so we are ready to get going here. Leading off for the Twins will be Dan Gladden, left fielder. Gladden on the replay is hitting 235, not 5 homers, 22 driven in. He had 249 real world. And of course, before the first toss of the dice is made, we got our dice right here before they get going. Ceremonial first sip, as has become tradition. And now we can get the game going officially. So Rick Rhoden facing Dan Gladden. We'll get a 6-5, and that's going to be a fly to center field, where that'll be handled by Claudell Washington, and that's going to be one away. That'll bring up shortstop Al Newman. He's given, for whatever reason, they're giving Greg Gagne the day off. So Al Newman is filling in at shortstop. He's a 3.12. Newman on the replay hitting 269, no homers, 12 driven in. He hit 221 real world, so he's definitely overperforming. 6'10", switch hitter batting left, and that's base on balls. First walk issued by Rhoden. Newman could get the lead, but with that -2 hold, he would be down to a 1 to an 11. And you got Puckett, Herbeck, and Gaetti coming up. So I think they're going to stick Newman at first base and tell him just to stay there. Yankees will have to hold him one because he does have the asterisk. And if you don't give, he would get the lead automatically if you did that. And then you wouldn't get the -2 for holding him on. Then it'd be a pretty good chance to steal. So you kind of have to hold him on. Next up for the Twins is center fielder Kirby Puckett. Puckett hitting .316 on the replay, 13 homers, 43 driven in. He hit .332 real world. So 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. So we're going right to Mr. 4E88 on the very first X chance. It is Jeff Moronco, a 4E88. 4 and a 6. 4 and a 6 is going to be a single. 1 star. Now the E88, it's not as necessarily as bad as you would think it would be. It's only 9, 11, 12, 16, and 14. They're not like the pitcher where they get like almost every number in the book. So E88, he's got to avoid 9, 11, 12, 14, and 16. And of course, we roll a 12. Would you know it? So 12 is going to be an error. So it's going to be a single plus an error on Moronco. And that'll send Puckett to second base and Newman to third base. Single plus the error on Moronco. And I'm sure that Lou Piniella is probably already regretting this decision to have Moronco play shortstop. But it's already been done now, so nothing you can do about it, except live with the consequences. And that'll bring up Kent Herbeck. Runners at second and third, nobody out, or 1 out, rather. The Yankees are going to play in. They don't want to give a cheap run early. So Herbeck, first baseman, hitting .288 on the replay. 19 homers, 57 driven in. He hit .285 real world. Infield is in. 4-4. It's a catcher X. So we're looking at Cerrone. He's a 3E0. Can't make an error. We'll roll for a rare play. There is no rare play. They can't make an error, but we're going to check his range now. He's a 3. So we'll see if this can be something that avoids a potential wild pitch or pass ball. We get a 3 and a 10. 3 and a 10 for a catcher is a P/F, so it's a possible pass ball. We go to the wild pitch rating of Rhoden, which is a 10. So 1 to 10, and we have a pass ball. And we do. It's a pass ball on Cerrone, and that will score the run and move Puckett to third. A little bit shaky start for the Yankees. Pass ball on Cerrone. And now Puckett is at third with 1 out for Kent Herbeck. Hello, Jeremiah. Hello, Joel. So now Rhoden pitching to Herbeck. Infield still in. 5-4. And that is a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Claudell Washington. He is a 3E5. And we get a 1. What do you know? Well, the D20 is just not helping out the Yankees today. So 3 and a 1 is obviously a base hit. It's actually going to be a double. So it's a double for Herbeck. 2-0 Twins. And ironically, because of the double, both of these runs now become earned runs because they would have scored either way via the double. Let's see here. Washington's an E5 in center field, so he's got to avoid 4, 16, 17, and 18. And we get a 4. Boy, they're just not catching any breaks at all. It's a 1 base error on Claudell Washington as an E5 center fielder. The 4 is a 1 base error. So Herbeck will go to third on the E8. Second error of the inning by the Yankees. And George Steinbrenner is not going to be a happy man, I can tell you. That'll put Herbeck at third. Still only 1 out for Gary Gaetti. Maybe the Yankees just haven't woken up yet. Maybe they need more coffee. I don't know. There's Gary Gaetti. He's hitting .270 on the replay. 18 homers, 70 driven in. He hit .257 real world. Again, the infield is in. That is a 2-11 for Gaetti, and that's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-7, and the way it's been going for the Yankees, you just know this is going to be a 1-7. Nope, not this time. Finally got a break. They line it out to Mr. Moronco. 2 down, and that'll get the infield to go back to normal now with 2 outs for designated hitter Roy Smalley. Roy Smalley. DH Smalley on the replay is hitting 273, 5 homers, 32 driven in. He hit 275 real world. It's a 6-7, and that's going to be a strikeout for Rhoden to get out of the inning. But 2 runs come on for the Twins, and they take a 2-0 lead. It's Minnesota 2, Yankees coming to bat. But in the real world, the Yankees did score 13 runs in this game, so they're hoping that their offense can do something. However, they do not have Dave Winfield in the lineup either. They've got Gary Ward playing right field. So kind of a makeshift Yankee lineup. No Winfield, no Randolph, and no Tollison. So kind of a strange looking lineup there. But like I said, maybe this was a day game after a night game. I don't know. But kind of strange that they would have 3 substitutes in the game at the same time. But I mean, they won 13-4 in real world, so they must have known something. So we go to the bottom of the first, and we look at Mike Smithson, the pitcher for the Twins. Real world Mike Smithson was 4-7 with a .594 earned run average. On the replay, Smithson is 3-5 with a 4.58 ERA. 75 innings pitched, 85 hits, 26 walks, 34 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Ricky Henderson to lead it off. Don't tell me we're getting circles in the sand again. Come on, YouTube. What's wrong with you? What the heck is wrong with YouTube now? Did it come back good? All right. I know it's not my internet. My internet is 110% fine. Somehow this YouTube app sometimes will give me circles in the sand. I don't need that right now. Yankees don't. Well, the Yankees might need that. Maybe they can postpone the game or something. I don't know. Let's see if we can avoid Belinda Carlisle today. All right, so Ricky Henderson. On the replay is hitting .330, 13 home runs, 36 driven in. He hit .291 real world. 3-8 for Ricky, and that is a strikeout. 1 away. And I've already but I've already selected the All-Stars for the 1987 All-Star game. Ricky Henderson, one of the few Yankees that's actually on that team. In fact, I think he might be the only Yankee on that team, if I remember correctly. I believe he is the only Yankee on that team. So no Winfield, no Mattingly, none of that. I'm going by replay stats, not by real-life stats. All right, here comes right fielder Gary Ward. He's playing for Winfield, at least starting for Winfield today. 212 average in the replay, 8 homers, 30 driven in. He get 248 real world. Twins have 3 all-star selections. They have, of course, Greg Gagne, the shortstop. And they've got, actually, they only have 2 all-star selections. They have Greg Gagne and they have Frank Viola. And that's it. Kirby Puckett did not make it. Too many other outfielders having better years, so didn't make it. All right, here's Gary Ward. 1-9, and that is a base on balls. So a walk to Gary Ward. And that'll bring up Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly. You're saying it was a day game after night game? Dan, okay, well, that explains a little bit then, doesn't it? All right, so Donnie Baseball, he didn't make the All-Star team either. Although he's not having a bad year, he's just not having a good year. A good, really good year. He's having a solid year so far on the replay, but nothing to write home about. He's hitting .304, 11 homers, 40 driven in. But there are other first basemen having better years. 6-6, and it's going to be a double to right field, straight out double to right field. Gary Ward not being held, he becomes a 15. Bernansky's a -1 arm, I think down by 2 with two good left-handed hitters coming up. I think they're going to hold him at third base. So runners are at second and third with one out for a center fielder, Claudell Washington, the cleanup man. Claudell Washington hitting .295, 3 homers, 24 driven in, and he hit .279 real world. Infield for the Twins, they will play back. 6-9. It's a fly ball left field C. It's not deep enough to score the run. Gladden secures it, but Ward not able to tag up. So big out there to get for Mr. Smithson. And now it's the hitman, Mike Easler, designated hitter in a clutch situation. And he loses some hits here. 1-3 and 1-6. 1-3 and 1-6. Infield, of course, back to normal now with 2 outs. 4-8, and that's a single 1-19, so it may not matter unless they roll a 20. And that's a base hit, 1 star for Easler. RBI single for Mike Easler. Ward will score. Mattingly will take third base. RBI single from Easler cuts the lead to 2-1. And that'll bring up Mike Pagliarulo, third baseman. Pagliarulo hitting .239 on the replay, 21 homers, 45 driven in. He hit .234 in the real season. 6-6, and that's going to be another double right there off Smithson. Second time that number's been hit. And let's see if Easler with 2 outs, he might be able to score, although he doesn't run that well. The game is now tied 2-2. Let's check Easler. He runs at a 10, not being held is an 11. 2 outs makes him a 13. -1's a 12. 60% chance. Well, I'll tell you what, 60% chance. Do you think Jeff Moronco has a 60% chance of getting the base hit? Is the question. I don't think so. So we're going to send Easler, right or wrong, we're going to send Easler 1-12. He scores. And he does. So Easler comes in on the Pagliarulo 2-run double. And the Yankees take a 3-2 lead. So they get those runs right back. And now we're looking at Jeff Moronco. Jeff Moronco. Moronco on the replay is actually hitting .250s, 1 out of 4. He had 11 at bats total. He was 1 for 11 on the season, but he's 1 for 4 in the replay. Go figure. 2-7. All right, so now we get to look at Moronco's 2-7 results. So let's check out Moronco on the 2-7. See if I can get this to show up correctly. 2-7 for Moronco. 2-7 for Moronco. As you can see, it's a K right there. 2-7 is a K against right-handed pitching for Mr. Moronco. So he strikes out to end the inning. But the Yankees get 3 on the board, take a 3-2 lead after 1. For whatever reason, the gentleman who sent me all the extra players in the mail for the non-carded players, he didn't send it for every single player. So there's certain guys like Moronco that didn't get carded. So very few times we need to go through this, but I screenshotted it off the laptop and put it on my phone. That way you can see it, so that you can see and know for yourself what the result is, not just take my word for it. All right, we're ready to go. Top of the second, Tom Brunansky. Brunansky, the right fielder, hitting .280 on the replay. 14 homers, 41 driven in. He at .259 real world. Rhoden 6'3", and that's a ground ball pitcher X. Right back to Rhoden. He's an E8. Computer says he's a range of 3, so he's a 3 E8 as a pitcher. 3 and an 11 for a pitcher. 3 and 11 for a pitcher is a G3. E8, he's got to avoid, that's a lot of numbers, 3, 6, and then 15 through 18. 3, 6, and then 15 through 18. And he does avoid it. So good play for Rhoden. After 2 errors in the first inning, every fielding chance now is going to be kind of shaky. All right, here's Steve Lombardozzi, second baseman. He's hitting 250 on the replay, 3 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 238 real world. 5-3. Ground ball first base C, so Mattingly will get to it. Flip to Rhoden covering. And there's 2 away for number 9 hitter Sal Butera. Tomorrow we'll be in Seattle at the Kingdome. Final game of the week, it'll be the Milwaukee Brewers and the Seattle Mariners. And Mr. Teddy Higuera will get the start for Milwaukee, I believe against Moore. If I'm not mistaken, I don't have the sheet down here with me at the moment. I don't believe. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's Mike Moore. All right, so here's Sal Butera, 2 outs, bases clear. Butera hitting a paltry 196 on the replay, a homer and 6 driven in, but that's better than the paltry 171 he hit real world. 1-7, he's going to ground to third, and Mr. Pagliarulo makes the play. Much better inning this time for Rick Rhoden. He seemed to maybe consult with the pitching coach between innings and fix what the problem was. Also, not having 2 errors in the inning helps as well. So we go to the bottom of the second, 3-2 Yankees. Smithson back out, trying to cure his ails. And he's going to start with Rick Cerrone. Cerrone hitting 257 on the replay, 3 homers, 17 driven in. He hit 243 real world. So 3-6, and that's going to be a ground ball short. And that brings up Paul Zuvella. I do have a card for him, so I don't have to go through the same process I did with Moronco. So you can see for yourself, Paul Zuvella, 176 hitter real world in 34 at-bats. On the replay, he's hitting 300. He's 3 for 10, but of course limited playing time or limited at-bats, so these will even out, you would assume. He's just getting a lot of results off the pitcher card, apparently, which he did again, 4-5, but this time he pops it up to Gaetti for out number 2. Back to the top of the order for Ricky. Ricky struck out his first chance. .210 for Henderson. He's going to ground it to short, and Newman makes the play. So both pitchers go 1-2-3 in the second, seemingly getting with their pitching coaches and curing what was ailing before. So we go to the top of the third. It's still 3-2 Pinstripers. And here is Dan Gladden. 3-7 for Gladden, and that's a strikeout for Rhoden. That's his second. Bringing up Al Newman. 2-3 for Newman, and that's a pop-up to Mattingly, 2 down. So now that is that is 7 in a row retired by Rhoden. We'll send up Mr. Puckett. 1-5, and that's going to be a home run 1-11, double 12-20, and that's a double for Kirby Puckett. He is singled, and now he is doubled. 2-out double from Puckett brings up a clutch situation for Kent Herbeck. Herbeck in the clutch will gain a hit, 112. 6-11, though, is a ground ball first base. X Mattingly is a 1. We know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the E6. And at first base, and E6, the only errors, 4, 15, and 17. And barely making the play is Mattingly. He gets it, flips to Rhoden covering to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the third. It is still Yankees 3 and the Twins 2. And just to make sure I didn't leave anybody out from what I was talking about here, let me double check what I was looking at before. Make sure I get the right guys on the All-Star team from these two ball clubs. Yep, for the Twins, we have Viola and we have Gagne. That's it, just those two. And from the Yankees, Ricky Henderson. That is it. Just Ricky Henderson, nobody else. So there you go. So Puckett, even though he's having a decent year, did not make it. Mattingly, even though he's having a decent year, did not make it. All right, here's Gary Ward. We'll start things off. That is a 2-9. 2-9 for Gary Ward. 1-19 is going to be a single. So Ward going to get that leadoff single. He will not be held. Here comes O-Matic Baseball. Mattingly doubled his first time up. 5-9, and that's a strikeout. Third by Smithson. That'll take us to Claudel. .310 for Claudel, and that's a fly to right field, 2 down. And now it's the hitman, Mike Easler. Easler had a big, well, not a big, he had an RBI single his first time up. 5-5, and this is a home run chance, 1-15. He definitely has normal power. 1-15 would be a home run. 16-20 would be the double. And that's a double for Mike Easler. The double is assumed to go to center field. Double is assumed to go to center. Puckett, that -4 arm. Ward runs at a 14. 2 outs. Well, not being held makes him a 15. 2 outs makes him a 17. -4 is a 13. So they're going to send him 1-13. He will score. And they get him at the plate. What a play, relay play there by Puckett and Newman. It's going to go 8-6-2 to throw out Ward at the plate on the double by Easler. But you kind of had to send him there. Just a good play overall by Puckett and Newman to throw him out at the plate. So Yankees threaten but don't score. We go to the fourth, still 3-2. And Ricky Rhoden back out. He'll be facing Gaetti, Smalley, and Bernansky. 5-6, and that's going to be a strikeout for Rick Rhoden, his third. 1 away, and that's going to send up Roy Smalley, designated hitter. 3-7 for Smalley. He strikes out, his fourth for Rhoden. Second time he's gotten Smalley. 2 up, 2 down for Bernansky. 4-11, and that's going to be a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Ward. He's a 3-E-6. 3-E-6. 3-16 is good. E6 for an outfielder. E6 for a outfielder. He needs to avoid 3-4, 14, 17, and 18. And 15 is just fine. So Ward will make the play, and the inning's over. We go to the bottom of the fourth, still 3-2, favor of the Yankees. Stepping up for the Yankees will be Mr. Pagliarulo to lead things off, followed by our wonderful friend Jeff Moronco, and then Rick Cerrone. Oops, that didn't go through. Let's fix this again. Pags. 1-7 for Pagliarulo, struck him out. Struck out number 4 for Mr. Smithson. And now that brings up Mr. Moronco. Struck out his first time up. That is a 5-6, and that's going to be a base hit from Moronco. So that's where he's getting his hits off the pitcher card. So now he was hitting 1 for 5. Now he's hitting 2. Now he's hitting 333 because he's 2 for 6. That's just the way it goes in that 50-50 split. Just the way it works. And here is Rick Cerrone. Cerrone, 6'3", as a ground ball pitcher X. Well, Smithson's an E0. He can't make an error. We'll roll for a rare play. There is no rare play. He's a range of 3. So let's see if we can turn a double play or not. Can't make an error, but he's a range of 3. To make a double play, you'd have to have a 17 through 20. But at least a 4 or higher at least gets an out. That's a 12. So that will be a G3. So his only play is going to be to first base. So it's a 1-3 ground out. Moronco taking second base with 2 outs now for Paul Zuvella. And it's a clutch situation for Zuvella, but with such few at bats, there's no way they could rate him for clutch. So he's neutral all the way. It's a 5-6, and that's a base hit off of Smithson. Moronco runs at a 12, not being held as a 13, 2 outs as a 15. The single goes to center. So once again, you got Puckett a -4. Man, do they try to do it again? Let's get the numbers just to check it out again. 12, 2 outs as a 14, not being held as a 15, but the -4 is an 11, be a 55% chance. Well, if he gets thrown out, you got Ricky leading off the next inning. So they're going to go in and send him 1 to an 11. And again, he's out at the plate. So Puckett does it again, throwing out the runner at the plate, 8-2 to end the inning. 2 assists in this game already for Mr. Puckett. Moronco is out of there. But the silver lining is you do have Ricky leading off the next inning. So maybe Steinbrenner will find the third base coach. I don't know. We'll find out. It could be. He doesn't like having guys thrown out at the plate like that. But sometimes you take those gambles and they work. Sometimes they don't work. We go to the top of the 5th. It'll be Rick Rhoden against Lombardozzi, Butera, and Gladden. Lombardozzi grounded out to Mattingly his first chance. We get a 1-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Rick Rhoden. He has struck out the leadoff hitter the last 3 innings. That's a good way to start an inning. Striking out the leadoff hitter. Here's Butera. 5-6, and that's another strikeout. Strikeout number 6. Boy, Rhoden has come back with a vengeance since that first inning. 2 quick outs for Dan Gladden. 6-7. That's another strikeout. So he strikes out the side here in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. And it's still 3-2. And the Yankees will have the leadoff man, Ricky Henderson, at the plate. .69, and that is a pop-up second base. This is a fatigue inning for Smithson, but he's not there yet, obviously, which the inning just started. So it is a pop-up to second, and that will be valid. 1 away for Gary Ward. 3-9 for Ward. He's going to ground it to Newman at short. 2 down. Two down, and that brings up Donnie Baseball. 3-7 for Donnie Baseball, and he flies to Puckett. Quick 1-2-3 inning, so Smithson will carry full endurance into the 6th. We go to the top of the 6th, and this is the fatigue inning for Rick Rhoden, so we'll keep an eye on him as he will be facing Al Newman. Start things off here in the top of the 6th inning of a 3-2 game. All the runs coming in the first inning, nothing since. Newman, 5-8. That's a 1-2 double. 3-20 would be a single. That's a single for Al Newman. Leadoff single for Newman. He will be held, but he won't try to go anywhere right now. Not with the big boys coming up. So here's Puckett. Single and a double. That's a 1-5 for Puckett, and that's a home run chance, 1 to an 11. Double 12 to 20. And that's another double for Puckett. Double's assumed to go to center field. Newman was being held, makes him a 14. -1 is a 13. So I think with nobody out, they will hold him at second base. So second and third for the Twins. And Puckett probably reacting to the All-Star snub, coming up with 3 hits and 2 assists in the outfield already. Trying to show he should be on the All-Star team. But I'm sorry, Puckett, there's just too many other guys that are having a little bit better years. All right, here's Kent Hrbek. One more base runner, and Rhoden will be fatigued. So Hrbek, first base is open. You could walk. I think they're going to walk Hrbek intentionally, load the bases, set up double play, try to minimize the damage. They will play for the double. They will play back for a double play against Gary Gaetti. Hrbek just hits right-handed pitching way too well. So here's Gaetti with the bases loaded and 1 out, and nobody out, rather. Infield back for the double play. 6-8. 6-8, and that's a single to center field. That'll score Newman. Puckett runs at a 17, not being held because he's a trail runner, makes him an 18. The -1 arm is a 17. They're going to send him 1 to 17. He'll score, and he does. So it's a 2-run single from Gary Gaetti, and Rhoden is now fatigued. Stopping at second base is Hrbek, but it is a 2-run single for Gary Gaetti. And the computer is confirming what I just mentioned, that Rick Rhoden is now tired. Now the Yankees, look at their bullpen, see who they've got that's rested, and who they feel can get them out of a jam. They may go to Pat Clements here. That's who they're going to. They're going to lefty Pat Clements out of the bullpen. So that's it for Rick Rhoden. He goes 5+. Could not record an out here in the 6th. So Rick Rhoden is going to go 5+, and he's going to give up. Well, let's get the Clements in here first, and then I'll get the numbers on Rhoden. So he's going to give up 6 hits. So far, 4 runs, but these 2 are his responsibility as well. Did strike out 7, and he walked just the 2, 1 intentionally, and Newman in the first inning. So now Clements is on. Lefty reliever. -3 on his hold, so it's a -4. So let's get the numbers on Pat Clements. Pat Clements is 3-3 with a 4.95 earned run average in the real season. He also had 7 saves. In the replay, 1-3 with 3 saves of 4.95, so right on the number. 4.95 ERA both in the replay and real world. 40 innings pitched, 48 hits, 17 walks, 20 strikeouts. And he'll be facing off against Roy Smalley, who will turn around bat right-handed. But he's still got Hrbek and Gaetti at first and second base with nobody out. Clements has to pull some magic to get out of this. 110, and that's a ballpark blast for Roy Smalley, which is a 1 to 8 rather, because he's batting right-handed. 1 to 8 for Smalley, and that's just a deep fly to left. So Clements catches a break. 1 out for Tom Brunansky. That's a 2, Balker pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball chance on Cerrone. His pass ball rating is a 9. No pass ball. So now Brunansky, 5-6, and that's a ground ball second base X. Chance for a double play, but Zuvella, a 3 E41. So not the best. 3 and a 13 probably is just a force play. 3 and a 13 is a G2, but now the E41, and at second base in E41, 11, 13, 17, and 18. So that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. 11, 13, 17, and 18. And 15 is going to be just fine. So they get the force play. It'll be a 4-6 fielder's choice. And going to third is Herbeck. Pretty sure Randolph would have turned a double play there, but he's not in the game. So fielder's choice, and that brings up Lombardozzi with 2 outs. Lombardozzi in the clutch against lefties will lose a couple of hits, 3-9 and 3-10. Also loses a hit at 1-3. 6-3. Ground ball shortstop X, and we're back to our friend Mr. Moronco. 4E88. 420, he'll get to that. So now the magical E88. Again, he's got to avoid 9, 11, 12, 14, and 16. Last time in the X check, he rolled an 11. Let's see if he can avoid it this time. He rolls a 9. E88, but the 9 is right there, so it's another error on Jeff Moronco. And that will score Herbeck. That's an unearned run, but we can close the book now on Rhoden. But another error from Moronco. That's his second error of the ball game. And the Twins get a gift run. We can close the book on Rhoden now. 5 runs, 4 earned. And here is Sal Butera. That's a 2-7, and that's a ground ball to third, and that will end the inning. The 3 runs come in for the Twins. And Steinbrenner's, I think, sending a message down to the dugouts saying, get that guy off shortstop, put somebody else out there. But Piniella says, I'm running this team right now. So he stays out there at least till the 7th inning. That's my rule. So unless there's a pitching change by the Twins, that's my rule. So you got to live with him. So now the Yankees have some work cut out for them as they're now down by the score of 5-3. Smithson went 1-2-3 in his fatigue inning, so he's got full endurance to start the 6th, and he's going to face Mr. Claudell Washington. That is a 2-3 for Washington. That's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-7 for Claudell. 1-7. That's a 9, so he fails. That's going to be a liner to second base. 1 away, and that's going to send us to the hitman Mike Easler. He's 2 for 2, a single and a double. That is a 4-10. That's a ballpark single again. 1-7 for Easler. And that fails, so it's a fly to right field. 2 down. 2 down for Mike Pagliarulo. 3-6 for Pags. That's a ballpark blast for Pagliarulo. It's a 1-9 to go deep. And they fly to right. So the Yankees get bad breaks on all 3 double die rolls. They came up way too high. They were all in double digits. And they needed single numbers. Just didn't work. So Smithson will carry full endurance into the 7th inning. They'll cap Smithson, I believe, at 7 innings. I think we'll cap him. I don't usually like to go more than 2 innings past their fatigue number, but we shall see. Moronco is scheduled to lead off the bottom of the 7th, but of course, once we get to the 7th inning, pinch hitting is allowed. So I think we've seen the last of Mr. Moronco at the plate. Still got to deal with him in the field this inning, but at least you won't see him bat anymore. Thank goodness. All right, Pat Clements back out, facing Dan Gladden. 2-7 for Gladden, and that's a ground ball to Mr. Moronco. This time he makes the play. 1 away. They've done a good job keeping Gladden off the bases, 0 for 4, but it's been the other guys they haven't been able to deal with. Newman's been a little pesky. 2-4. This time he grounds to Moronco again. So Moronco going out with a bang with the consecutive good fielding plays. trying to boost his fielding average. Here's Puckett. He's 3 for 3, a single and 2 doubles. 6-4, and this is a catcher X. We're going to Cerrone. He's a 3. 3 and an 11, but nobody's on base. So a 3 and 11 for a catcher will be a pop out, assuming there's no error. And he's an E0. He can't make an error. So it's just going to be a pop out to Rhoden to end the inning. Finally retire Puckett. Good morning, Mike. So we go to the 7th inning stretch. It is 5-3 Twins in the lead. Smithson will come back out and start the 7th inning. He's retired all 6 he's faced since reaching fatigue. And we have a pinch hitter coming up for Mr. Moronco. So the exploits of Jeff Moronco are now complete. And now we go to some pinch hitting. And of course, you got Winfield, you got Randolph. So they're going to use Randolph, and they will move Savella to short and put Randolph at second base. He will take over at second base, where he's a 2E17. Much better there. 2E17. You can't see that, but I'll read it off to you, so it doesn't matter. He's a 2E17 is Mr. Randolph, running at a 14 out of 12. So Randolph will pinch hit and take over at second base. So Willie Randolph will bring him into the game. And we can say so long to Mr. Moronco. He is history for today's game. Randolph hitting 267 on the replay, 4 homers, 31 driven in. He hit 305 real world, so he's been underperforming. It's a 1-9 for Randolph. He grounds it to short for 1 away. And just in case you're just a tad bit curious what Moronco would have done on a 1-9, he would have been hit by a pitch. Apparently he got hit by a pitch once and was limited at bat, so he would have been hit by a pitch. But you're not going to sit there and play that game, I'm sure, if you are the Yankees. So take your chances with Randolph. He grounded out, just the way it works. Here's Cerrone. 2-8 for Cerrone. He's going to fly at the Puckett in center field. 2 up, 2 down. Go to the number 9 hitter, Paul Zuvella, who is now the shortstop, and he's a 4E48. Let's update his defense here. He is now a 4E48 at shortstop. Mr. Zuvella. But, well, if there was somebody on base, I might pinch hit for him, but he may come up again in the 9th. So I'd rather save Winfield or somebody for a clutch at bat, not with 2 outs, bases empty. So we're gonna go and let Zuvella hit 3-9, and he pops it up to Lombardozzi to end the inning. So how about that? Smithson retires the last 9 batters he faces. Goes out with a bang. He'll go 7 innings, and he will give up 7 hits, 3 runs, all in the first inning. It really settled down after that. He ended up walking just Ward in the first inning. That was his only walk, and he does strike out 4. And he's in line to get the win to improve his record to 4-5. Rhoden's in danger of dropping to 6-7. So now, defense, computers tell me to fix my defense, so I will do that. Zuvella will go in at short, and Randolph will stay in the game to play second base. And we start the top of the 8th. Clement's still in there, and he'll be in there against Mr. Herbeck. Kent Herbeck, now having to bat against lefties, which he does not do well at all. 4-4, and it's a fly to center. Washington's a 3E5. 3 and 17 is good all day long. E5, center fielder. Now, he's already made one error because we rolled a 4 on him on the first X chance. He's got to avoid the 4, 16, 17, and 18. This time he makes the play. So Claudel making the play for out number 1. Yankees have committed 3 errors in this game, though. Been part of their downfall, the fielding. Here's Gary Gaetti, and 2 of those errors by Mr. Moronco. Here's Gaetti, 4-7, and that's a base hit for Gary Gaetti. Brings up Roy Smalley. More action in the Yankee bullpen. See who they've got loosening down there. Let's get their bullpen in front of me here. Looks like good old Tim Stoddard loosening in the bullpen right now, right-hander. So Roy Smalley against Clements. 5-4, switcher batting right. That's a fly ball to center field, and Mr. Claudel Washington will call that in. 2 down to Tom Brunansky. And I think they're going to make the move with the righty Brunansky coming up. I think they're going to go ahead and pull Clements and bring in Stoddard. Try to finish out the game. So Tim Stoddard, right-hander, making his way on. We'll get the numbers on Clements. Can't finish him off, though, because of the fact that he has that runner on first base that is his responsibility. But he's only given up 1 hit. He went 2 2/3 innings. Only given up 1 hit. And it doesn't look like he walked anybody or struck anybody out. So now Stoddard, who's a +4 on his hold, he will come into the game. So we'll bring Stoddard on the computer, and he will be warming up to face Tom Brunansky. And we'll get the numbers on Stoddard in the meantime. Stoddard, real season for Tim Stoddard. Real season. 4-3 with a 3.50 ERA and 8 saves. That's what he did real world, Tim Stoddard. On the replay, Stoddard is 6-4 with 1 save and an ERA of 3.05. 59 innings pitched, 50 hits, 15 walks, 57 strikeouts. So he pitched 93 innings real world. So far, he's pitched 59. And he's going to be facing Tom Brunansky. Gaetti still at first, not being held. 6-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. And fortunately for the Yankees, they don't have Moronco anymore. They got Zuvella, 4E48. That might not be a prize either. So Paul Zuvella, an 8, 4 and an 8. 4 and an 8 is a G3 pound. They weren't holding the runner, though, so G3 is still going to be good. The pound's irrelevant. But E48 at shortstop, he's got to avoid 3, 6, 12, 15, 16, and 18. And that's a 6. That'll be an error. E48 and a 6 is right there. The first error in the error chart on the E48 is a 6. And that's exactly what we have. 4th error by the Yankees, 3rd by the shortstop position. And the inning will continue. And Lou Piniella would really like to give Tollison the day off, but he might not be able to. This is getting out of hand here at shortstop. So 2 outs and 2 on. Clutch situation now for Lombardozzi. In the clutch, he will lose a hit on 3-5 and 3-9. Stoddard may just have to strike the guy out, and so he can't ground it to shortstop. I don't know. We'll see. 1-6. But he does ground to shortstop, and this time the play is made by Zuvella to end the inning. So we can go and close off Clements with no runs. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Twins will bring in a new pitcher after Smithson went 7. So the Twins will turn to their bullpen. And actually, they're not going to mess around. They're going straight to Jeff Rhoden. He's got a relief rating of 2. He can go 2 innings, and he hasn't had that much pitching. I mean, Twins have had games where they're either behind, losing, or they're blowing the other team out. So they haven't had a lot of close games to use Rhoden. So they will be bringing in Jeff Rhoden. Try to go get a 2-inning save here. So Rhoden, let's look at Rhoden's numbers. Jeff Rhoden, 8-8, a 4.48 ERA in the real season. Of course, 31 saves are a big part of that. In the replay, 4-2 with 14 saves, a 3.57 ERA, 35 innings pitched, 34 hits, 10 walks, 32 strikeouts. But he didn't have quite a good enough year to make the All-Star team either. So he's not there. Ricky Henderson is, though. He'll be there. He's going to lead off here against Rhoden. Rhoden is a +1 hold on his own, and then Butera is a +2 for a +3. So Ricky Henderson started off for the Yankees. The Henderson, Ward, and Mattingly. Of course, Winfield is, and good morning, World's Worst. Winfield is lingering in the bowels of the clubhouse, available to pinch hit when needed in a clutch spot. Here's Henderson, 5-4, ground ball to second by Henderson, and Lombardozzi will make the play. 1 away, and that's going to send up Gary Ward. 2-11 for Ward is a ballpark blast. 2-11 is a ballpark blast. It's a 1-8. And again, the D20 lets the Yankees down. It is a deep fly to left, 2 down for O-Matic Baseball. (5-9), and that is a in-home run, 1-7. 8-20 would be a double. And that's a home run for Don Mattingly. Solo shot. Twins still lead at 5-4. For Mattingly, that is home run number 12 on the replay. He had 30 real world. So he's a little bit behind on his pace to get to 30 home runs, but gets one here. It's a solo shot, though. So it's still 5-4 Twins. And Claudell Washington is your batter. Rhoden was susceptible to the long ball. 2-5, and that's a ground ball to third. Gaetti makes the play. And we go to the ninth. It is 5-4 Twins over the Yankees. And it's up to Tim Stoddard to keep the Twins right where they are. And he'll be facing number 9 hitter Sal Butera. Start things off. 6-9, and that is going to be a split. One's a single, anything else he lines to short. And it's going to be a liner right to Zavella. So 1 away for Dan Gladden. 6-7 for Stoddard. That's a ground ball shortstop X. Here we go. Another ground ball X to the shortstop Zavella. 4E48. 4-14. He'll get there. But then the old error looming large. He's got to avoid 6, 12, 15, 16, and 18. He rolled a 6 last time. This is a 13, so he's going to get lucky. There is no 13. There's a 12 there, but no 13. So Zavella will make the play. And boy, Dan Gladden goes 0 for 5 in this one. 0 for 5 for Mr. Gladden. So 2 away. And that brings up Al Newman. 2-7 for Newman, and he lines it right to Mr. Randolph for out number 2, or out number 3, rather, to end the inning. So Stoddard is going to go an inning and a third and not give up anything. And we go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for the Yankees. They trail it 5-4. Dave Righetti is loosening their bullpen just in case they send this game to extra innings. He'll be ready. Rhoden back out. It'll be Easler, Pagliarulo, and Randolph. Again, Winfield waiting in the wings. He may hit for Cerrone. Very well could be hitting for Cerrone. So here's Easler, the hitman Easler. And he is 2 for 3, single and a double. 211, and that's a pop up to Herbeck. One away. Here's Pagliarulo. Oh, that one fell off the side. Let's do that again. Here's Pags. 6-4. That's a walk. So they walk Pagliarulo. And brings up Willie Randolph. And on deck is Mr. Winfield to hit for Cerrone. Rhoden to Randolph. 2-3 for Randolph. He's going to pop it up to Gaetti. That is out number 2. And now Cerrone being called back. And Mr. May, Dave Winfield, is going to get a chance to pinch hit to see if he can keep this game going. If it goes to the extra innings, they'll bring in Mark Salas to catch. Right now, they're not worried about that. They got to get there first. So Winfield's going to come in and pinch hit for Cerrone. We'll bring him on the computer and see how he's done on the replay versus real world. Cerrone, not a bad hitter, 252 on the replay, 243 real world, but obviously Winfield's the better hitter, so you got to do what you got to do. Winfield is there. So Winfield on the replay is hitting 267, 19 homers, 53 driven in. He at 275 real world, and he is facing Rhoden. That's a 1, so potential wild pitch. That could get the runner in scoring position. Reardon's wild pitch rating is a 5. And there's no wild pitch, so it is blocked by Laudner. So now Winfield ready to go. 4-7, and it's a ground ball second base X. They were not holding tags on. Lombardozzi's a 2E18, and this could end it right here. 2 and a 5, I think he still gets to that. 2 and a 5, he does. Since they weren't holding the runner on, he gets to that. So 2 and a 5, he gets to it. And now the E rating, E18. So he's got to avoid 13, 3, and 18. If he avoids those, the game is over. And he does. So the play is going to be made by Lombardozzi, and the ball game is over. And Jeff Reardon earns a 2-inning save. It'll be his 15th of the replay. Save number 15. Winner is Smithson. He's now 4-5. Loser is Rhoden. And we'll get the totals and set you up for tomorrow's game, for Friday's game, in just a second. As soon as I do some little administrative work on the computer and get to the box score. So the final line score for the Twins, 5 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. For the Yankees, 4 runs, 8 hits, and 4 errors. Winning pitcher, Mike Smithson, he's now 4-5. Loser, Rick Rhoden, he's now 6-7. Jeff Reardon picks up save number 15. And I guess player of the game is Kirby Puckett, as Puckett single, double, double, 3 for 4. Couple of runs scored. He is your player of the game. All right, let's look ahead to tomorrow's game. Tomorrow's game will send us to the Kingdom in Seattle, where we will have the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Seattle Mariners. Pitching matchup in that, left-hander Teddy Higuera for the Mariners, and right-hander Mike Moore for the Mariners. That will be from the Kingdom tomorrow. Tonight will be the final game of the Rockies 4-game set with the Phillies in the Rockies Horror Baseball Show. That'll be tonight, Rockies and the Phillies. And it'll be a matchup of Ranger Suarez for the Phillies against German Marquez for the Rockies. That'll be tonight. So that's going to do it from here. Thanks to everybody who came by during the stream, and thanks to those that watch later. But there you have it. Final score, 5-4 Twins over the Yankees as the Twins flip the script. And, of course, 4 Yankee errors, 3 by the shortstops, 2 in particular by Mr. Moronco. So they will always remember Jeff Moronco in this game. Twins improved to 41-44. Yankees dropped to 46-39. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we will see you all down the road.